What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one. And I gotta be honest, you guys, I didn't think I'd be making this video just because I didn't think that I would ever find myself in a position where I actually was surprised slash impressed by something that Biden was doing. And I'm gonna say this as a conservative, obviously, because people are gonna say, "Oh, some people are going to say that this is the wrong move for Biden. Some people are going to say this is the right move for Biden. I'm a little impressed just because of the fact that I didn't think that his handlers or him would ever say that they have 100% support for Israel, especially when his own party is basically backing him into a corner, which is kind of crazy that this is happening. But as the title says here, Biden vows ironclad support for Israel amid Iran attack fears. Now, as some of you guys might remember, Nancy Pelosi and some of the more progressive members of Congress wrote a letter to President Biden saying that they want less support in Israel, basically, and to not sell any weapons whatsoever to Israel until they could make certain promises and guarantees that that innocence wouldn't be hit anymore, which it's a war, so things are going kind of crazy over there right now. But it says here President Joe Biden has promised Israel ironclad U.S. support amid fears that Iran could launch reprisals for an attack that killed senior Iranians. Mr. Biden warned that Iran is threatening to launch a significant attack after Israel struck the Iranian consulate in Syria 10 days ago. We're going to do all we can to protect Israel's security, he added. Now that's surprising. That really is surprising, especially since his party is abandoning him. You know, this might be what loses him the election, though. To be frank, because like I said, you got a lot of people in the Democratic Party that do not want this, to this war to continue, or for us to continue aiding them. So for him to say this is it's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. It says earlier on Wednesday, Iran's leader said the Israeli attack in Damascus was equivalent to an attack on Iran itself. When they attacked our consulate area, it was like they attacked our territory. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said in a televised speech, "The evil regime must be punished, and it will be punished." It is unclear what form any reprisal attack would take. For Iran to strike Israel directly would risk an even greater escalation in the conflict, and analysts have said Iran does not have the military capability for a significant confrontation. We don't know, because Iran is a dangerous country run by terrorists, right? So it's kind of crazy. this 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 entire situation is ramping up here, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and I'm really hoping that this isn't going to turn into something that involves even more countries, including us. I don't want us to be involved in foreign wars. A possible alternative is an attack via an Iranian proxy like Hezbollah, which has traded fire with Israel across the border from Lebanon, excuse me, almost daily since 8th of October, since October 8th. Those exchanges have intensified in recent weeks. I gotta remember it's the English, they do it differently over there. Hezbollah is very capable. Hundreds of thousands of rockets and missiles there on the border that can reach all the way into southern Israel. Joe Bacino, former communications director at the U.S. military's Central Command, told the BBC, Hezbollah is much more capable than Hamas. Yeah, so they'd have the capability to do significant damage into Israel. Yeah, I believe they're a lot bigger too, if I'm not mistaken. On Sunday, an Iranian official warned Israel's embassies were no longer safe, suggesting a consulate building could be a possible target. Experts have also suggested Iran could target Israel with a cyber attack. How might Iran seek to hurt Israel after the general's killing? Can U.S. pressure deliver Israel Hamas truce in Gaza? Biden pressure on Israel not enough, say dissenting U.S. officials. 13 people were killed in the April 1st attack on the Iranian consulate building, including senior Iranian military leaders. Among them was Brigadier General Mohammad Reza Zahidi, a senior commander of Iran's elite Quds forces in Syria and Lebanon. Israel has not claimed responsibility for the attack, but is widely considered to have been behind it. U.S. and Israeli forces in the region have been put on high alert in the days since. Last week, the Israel Defense Forces, canceled leave for soldiers serving with combat units and called up reservists to bolster air defense units. Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs Israel Katz responded on social media to Ayatollah Khamenei's comments by saying if Tehran attacked from its territory, Israel would react and attack in Iran. I really can't believe that we're making these threats via Twitter, man. This is so stupid. It doesn't even seem like real life. Meanwhile, the head of U.S. forces in the region, General Michael Kurilla, is to discuss the threat of a possible Iranian attack in talks with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Army Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi. Sorry, guys, if I'm butchering names. In Israel on Thursday, according to Israeli media reports. Mr. Biden's remarks came as he was speaking to journalists at the White House on Wednesday alongside Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. As I told Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, our commitment to Israel's security against these threats from Iran and its proxies is ironclad. Let me say it again, ironclad, Mr. Biden said. Really? Wow. His comments come one day after an interview recorded a week ago was aired in which Mr. Biden urged Mr. Netanyahu to just call for a ceasefire in Gaza, and in which he said he disagreed with the Prime Minister's war strategy. I think what he's doing is a mistake. I don't agree with his approach, he said in the interview with U.S. network Univision. It also comes days after a tense phone call between Mr. Biden and Mr. Netanyahu in the wake of the Israeli killing of 7 humanitarian aid workers in Gaza. Yeah, that was a tragedy, man. Those people were just trying to help, and they got hit. They got hit with an airstrike. Mr. Biden has sharpened his rhetoric over Israel's conduct in the nearly 6-month-old war sparked by Hamas's October 7th attack and voiced his growing frustration with Mr. Netanyahu. Iran backs Hamas, and Iranian officials have praised the attack, in which about 1,200 people were killed and 253 taken to Gaza as hostages. And they still haven't been released. And if I'm not mistaken, 5 of those 253 are Americans. So it'd be nice if we can bring those Americans home, U.S. officials have been attempting to send a message to the Iranians that despite differences of opinion between Mr. Biden and Mr. Netanyahu, any attack on Israel will be met with an aggressive U.S. response. Man, things are getting crazy. In an effort to ease tensions, the foreign ministers of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, and Iraq spoke to their Iranian counterpart this week, according to Axios. The ministers were asked to convey a message from Mr. Biden's senior Middle East advisor, Brett McGurk, about the need to de-escalate. According to Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry, more than 33,000 people, mostly women and children, have been killed in the Israeli offensive, which was triggered by Hamas's attack. Yeah, but see, the thing is, again, Hamas runs it, so they're going to say whatever they want to get, the world on their side, number one. And number two, any innocents that die in this conflict, on the Hamas side, those innocents are dying because Hamas is hiding behind those said innocents. So, they want to act like they're being victimized or whatever. They're the ones that started the fight. They're the ones that wanted the war to start, because you can't just punch someone and leave them with a bloody nose and think that they're not going to come back at you, So I feel for the innocents. I really do. But they need to get the hell out of there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that this is I'm hoping it's let me rephrase. I'm hoping it's winding down. I really am, because I'd rather this wind down than amp up. But if Iran's gonna get involved, then who knows where this is gonna go. Scary stuff, you guys. Scary stuff for real. But let's pray that this doesn't, get any worse. Guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, leave me your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Stay safe though, and stay based.